Stop using wood chips. This free mulch builds humus 10 times faster and revives your soil. If you've been gardening for any length of time, you've probably been told that wood chips are the holy grail of mulching. Spread them thick, wait patiently, and somehow, magically, your soil is supposed to improve. I believed that story too, for years. But here's the uncomfortable truth I discovered in my own garden at Roots Haven grounds. Wood chips are slow, often frustratingly slow, and in many food gardens they can actually delay the soil life we're trying so hard to build. There is a free mulch, one you already have access to, that builds humus dramatically faster, feeds soil life immediately, and brings tired soil back to life in a single season instead of years. Once I switched to it, my soil changed texture, smell, and productivity faster than I ever thought possible. Let me show you what it is, why it works, and exactly how you can start using it today. Why wood chips aren't the soil miracle we were promised. Wood chips are not evil, they have their place. But, that place is often misunderstood. Wood chips are mostly carbon, very hard carbon actually. They're designed by nature to decompose slowly over long periods of time, especially when they come from branches and bark. When you lay wood chips on garden soil, microbes immediately get to work breaking them down. The problem is that those microbes need nitrogen to do that job. When nitrogen is scarce, they pull it from the soil below. That's why, many gardeners notice yellowing plants, sluggish growth, or soil that looks the same year after year despite heavy mulching. Wood chips shine in paths, orchards, and long-term systems where time is not a limiting factor. But if your goal is fast humus formation, vibrant soil biology, and immediate fertility, wood chips are simply too slow. The free mulch that builds humus at lightning speed. Now, that's something most folks don't realize. The mulch I'm talking about is fresh, green, living plant material, what many gardeners overlook, ignore, or even throw away. This includes weeds before they seed, garden trimmings, cover crops, grasses, leaves while they're still green, and really, any soft plant matter you can cut and drop. In permaculture, this is often called chop and drop mulch, but don't let the name intimidate you. Honestly, this is how nature has built soil for millions of years. Unlike wood chips, green mulch contains both carbon and nitrogen in a balanced form. That balance is the secret. Microbes don't have to rob your soil to break it down. Instead, decomposition happens quickly, feeding fungi, bacteria, earthworms, and plant roots all at once. What makes this mulch build humus 10 times faster? Well, humus forms when organic matter is processed by soil life and stabilized in the soil. The faster soil organisms can work, the faster humus appears. Green mulch accelerates this process in several powerful ways. First, it breaks down rapidly. Soft plant material just collapses, wilts, and integrates into the soil within weeks, not years. This rapid breakdown creates a constant flow of food for microbes, which multiply quickly and build soil aggregates, the foundation of humus. Second, green mulch feeds fungi and bacteria at the same time. Wood chips heavily favor fungi, which is great for forests but not always ideal for annual vegetable beds. Green mulch creates a more balanced soil food web, perfect for mixed gardens. Third, green mulch keeps soil moist and cool while still allowing oxygen exchange. This creates ideal conditions for decomposition without suffocating soil life. When you pull back green mulch after, a month or two and see dark, crumbly, living soil underneath, that's humus forming in real time. How this mulch revives dead or tired soil fast. If you're working with compacted, pale, lifeless soil, green mulch can feel like, honestly, a miracle. The change is not subtle. As the mulch decomposes, it releases organic acids that help break up compacted particles. Earthworms move in quickly, drawn by the fresh food source, and their tunnels improve drainage and aeration almost immediately. At the same time, beneficial microbes multiply and begin unlocking nutrients that were previously unavailable. Plants respond with deeper green leaves, stronger stems, and noticeably faster growth, often within a single growing season. I've used this method on soil that could barely grow grass, and within just a few months, it supported thriving vegetables and herbs without any purchased fertilizers. So how do you use this mulch the right way? The key is timing and thickness. Fresh plant material should be applied generously but thoughtfully. You want enough to cover the soil completely, but not so much that you end up smothering young plants. Lay the mulch around established plants, leaving a small breathing space around the stems. Over bare beds, you can spread it thick and just let it settle naturally. As it dries and shrinks, you'll notice how quickly it integrates into the soil. If you're worried about weeds, remember this. Weeds are only a problem when they're allowed to seed. So, cut them early, lay them down, and they become allies instead of enemies. This is not a one-time application. Think of green mulch as a continuous soil feeding habit, not a single event. Every pruning, every harvest, every weed pull becomes an opportunity to build soil. What about pests, smell, and disease? This is honestly one of the biggest fears gardeners have, and, yeah, it's totally understandable. In practice, green mulch rarely smells if it's applied correctly. Smell usually comes from anaerobic conditions, which, tend to happen when material is piled on too thick and wet. As for pests, healthy soil systems tend to balance themselves out. Snails and insects are far less of a problem when soil life is thriving and plants are strong. Disease pressure also drops as microbial diversity increases, because, beneficial organisms outcompete pathogens. Nature doesn't clean up fallen leaves and plants, and honestly, neither should we. So, why does this method work for beginners and experts alike? Well, if you're new to gardening, this approach just removes all the complexity. There's no buying mulch, no calculating ratios, and no waiting years to see results. You simply work with what's already growing. And hey, if you're experienced, green mulch lets you fine-tune soil biology, push productivity, and regenerate soil at a pace that wood-based mulches just can't match. It's flexible, forgiving, and honestly, deeply effective. Most importantly, it reconnects you with how soil actually works, not how products are marketed. The mindset shift that changes everything. The biggest transformation doesn't happen in the soil. It happens in how you see your garden. When you stop viewing plant material as waste and start seeing it as soil food, everything changes. Your garden becomes a closed-loop system. Inputs decrease, results improve. And instead of fighting nature, you start partnering with it. That's the philosophy we live by here at Roots Haven Grounds. I'm not saying you should never use wood chips again, but if your goal is fast humus, living soil, and a garden that improves every season without constant inputs, then, honestly, green mulch deserves to be your foundation. Try it in one bed. Just, watch what happens. Feel the soil, smell it, and really look at your plants. The results will speak louder than any theory ever could. If this article helped you rethink mulching and soil building, make sure you subscribe to the Roots Haven Grounds YouTube channel, share this with a fellow gardener, and help spread knowledge that actually regenerates the land. Let's grow soil, not just plants.